This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Jon Chappell is the founder of Digital Rebellion, LLC, with a background as an editor, post-production supervisor, and software developer. His company's post-production software is used by freelancers, production companies, and Fortune 500 companies around the world to fix problems, optimize workflows, and manage teams. Welcome, Jon. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
You are our first live video guest. Man, you're brave.
Really, we appreciate this. This is great.
We got stuff where we just lit this your chair. It was sort of sitting there in the dark shadows, but now we have lights turned on you. It's amazing. So glad to have you with us.
Let's see if I can see Jon. Yeah, there he is. I can
See?
see him. All right.
The one thing you don't want to do is don't ever listen to Michael, because he will just lead you astray. So why did you decide to found Digital Rebellion? What was the inspiration?
Well, it's interesting because at the time I was actually working as an editor in London as a video
Probably
editor.
where your accent is from.
That's right, yeah, I am from England originally. And I had a really, really unreliable computer and crazy deadlines. And I just had to figure out all sorts of methods of just getting this computer to work with Final Cut Pro 6 and meeting my deadline. And then I thought, well, you know, I could do this manually every time, or I could automate it. And so I started developing some tools, and then they were far more popular than I imagined, and it just sort of grew from there.
Was it the actual computer that was giving you a hard time, or was it just the fact that you would like to do things, and so I'm just going to invent the software to do it?
Maybe a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find that you've principally inventing tools? Because a lot of developers work on effects or transitions.
Mm-hmm.
So the tools were really to solve problems that you yourself had.
That's right, yeah. Pretty much the version 1 of any product I make is pretty much exclusively designed for myself.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, some of your tools, for instance, the ever-popular compressor repair, which I have used more times than I will ever admit publicly, are free, and others of them have a fee. How do you decide what to offer for free and what to charge for?
I'm not sure that there's necessarily a lot of thought in that direction, but it generally is based on how useful it is. And also
if it's not useful at all, it's free, and if it's useful, you charge for it?
No, I don't mean that. What I mean is that how many people would really benefit from it, and how many people... I guess what I'm trying to say is, so many people use SCS Remover. It's our Premiere product. We really wanted to make that free just to get it out there, because otherwise there's no solution at all from Apple for solving that kind of problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you probably do too, but I use pro maintenance tools, which everybody uses. I mean, 90% of the people I know use pro maintenance tools because it does everything. If you have a problem, you use pro maintenance tools, and that is a charge.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
You charge for it, and it's worth every single penny because it just solves everything. If you have a problem, use pro maintenance tools. It's solved.
Right. And we're very generous with the trial on that as well, and the trial will solve a lot of problems without you having to pay anything as well.
Are you principally earning a living as a developer, or are you still earning a living as an editor? How do you split? Where's your revenue come from?
I work less as an editor now and more as a post supervisor, but
Really, still post supervisor?
Yeah, the majority of my time is spent doing this.
Well, I can attest to this. I try to get him at LassyPug every once in a while. He says, "No, I'm working and I'm going to be gone for 3 months." So, but yet he still updates all this stuff. But I can't get him at my local user
No, but
group.
we got him here on the Buzz. I just think it's a
Yeah,
tribute
that's because you were Larry Jordan and I'm Michael Horton.
Well, I think it's also because you've developed a new product called Kollaborate. Tell us about that.
So good.
Well, Kollaborate is a cloud workflow platform, and what it allows you to do is upload files, share them with colleagues and clients, and work remotely with your team.
Now, there's got to be at least 700,000 other pieces of software that do the same thing. Why should we pay attention to Kollaborate?
Okay, well, there's a whole list of reasons why Kollaborate is different, a whole list of unique features. But I think one of the key reasons is that we're an existing company. We're not a startup. We've been around for almost 8 years now. We developed a huge range of software. And what we did when we developed Kollaborate was we went back and re-engineered our existing software to work with the cloud. And so if you subscribe, you don't just get the cloud, you also get a whole load of free apps that connect with it.
For instance?
For example, we have all sorts of apps for uploading. So many different ways to upload. You can really find something that meets your workflow. So, for example, you can upload via the website. We have Kollaborate Transfer, which is a batch encoding and uploading tool with a whole load of advanced features. We have a folder watching tool. So you can set a folder as a watch folder, and then whenever you copy a file to that, it'll automatically upload it to the cloud. And we also have editing plugins for Final Cut Pro 10 and Adobe Premiere Pro on the Mac.
Now, what's an editing plugin do?
Well, what it allows you to do is upload your timeline directly from your editing software to our cloud service. So you save
From
a
the
lot of time.
timeline, without having to do an export first.
That's right.
And it works?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it really does. I mean, it's really cool.
So I have an allergy to the cloud because
Boy, do you ever.
yeah, well, and Sony does too, actually,
it's-
when you think about it. But how do you guarantee or reassure nervous Nellies like me that it's safe to move their stuff up to a server that's not stored on premises?
Well, we built our cloud service to be very secure, and we're using industry standard technologies. But you don't necessarily have to take my word, because a lot of services, they're either cloud only or they're on premise. And we're the only service that I know of where we actually offer you a choice.
Really?
So you can host with the cloud, or you can take it in-house on your own servers and your own storage.
So we could use your software on our hardware, keep it inside our firewall, and keep it secure.
That's right, yeah.
That is a
There
very
you go,
cool.
Larry.
All right. I'm gonna not beat him up on the cloud anymore. What platforms does this work on?
Well, it'll work on, you mean the server side or the client side?
Okay. So, server side. Okay. Well, let's start server side. If I want to pull the
Okay.
server in house, what do I need?
You need either Linux, Mac, or Windows.
So you anything that's out there, basically.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And how about on the client side?
The website will work on any platform, providing you're using a relatively new browser issued within the last couple of years. But our apps tend to be Mac only.
Okay.
John, is Digital Rebellion just you, or is it somebody else too?
Well, we're pretty small, but I keep it scalable. So
It's
So-
more than just John, but the size varies. It's what it sounds like.
Well, depending on if you're working or not, or if you're working another gig or not.
well, yeah.
But in terms of support, if we have a problem,
Yeah.
we can get a hold of somebody.
Oh yeah. We have great support, and we've actually found that support isn't necessarily directly. It doesn't necessarily scale with the number of users.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we've actually got more users now than say 2 or 3 years ago, and we have fewer support requests.
Wow. Just because it works.
Yeah, just because it works, and we fix bugs very quickly, and more importantly, we just make it so people can find the information they need, so they don't even need to ask us in the
Well,
first
one
place.
thing I've learned is once you know how something works, you don't generally need support unless either it breaks
Right.
or you come up with a new version and people just need installation instructions. So the
Right.
hardest part has got to be getting a new user up to speed.
Right. Yeah.
But when something breaks, though, let's take you, Larry. I mean, when something breaks, do you try to figure it out yourself before you call support, or I don't have any time, I just call support?
If there's a chance I can figure it out, I'll try and figure it out myself. But if it's a brand new piece of software, and with the studio, we've installed lots of brand new software, we're going to call support first
Okay.
because we don't have a clue where to even ask a question. And I suspect for something like Kollaborate, it would be new. So I would call you right away to say,
Yeah.
it's stuck. How do I get help? So you've talked about the fact that we can transfer files. So how do I use Kollaborate? I've got the file. I'm inside Premiere or I'm inside Final Cut. I've transferred the file up to Kollaborate. Now what happens?
Well, it depends what you're intending to do with that file once it's in the cloud.
Okay.
Most of our customers use it for video review and approval. So if they have people they've invited to their team, those people will be notified automatically. You don't even need to do anything. But if there's someone outside of the project, like a client, you can then send them a link. And what's nice about the apps is that all you need to do is tick a box, and then it will automatically send a link to the client. And it's really just one step.
So the principal use is client review. So if I've got clients scattered all over the country, they can quickly take a look at it. So I'm not using it. It's not like Adobe Anywhere where I'm using this for editing.
No, that's not what it's designed for. No.
Got it. Okay. So if I look at you versus Sorensen 360, which is another review program, what would be a difference between the two of you?
I'm not 100% sure of their feature set.
Rephrasing the question, what do you think makes your product unique? You said there were a number of unique features.
Okay.
There's a number of review programs out there.
That's right.
So give me some examples of why you.
Okay, well, for example, we have a whole round-tripping capability. So whenever you upload a file, Kollaborate is intelligent enough to figure out the time code within that file. And then whenever you leave a comment on that, it'll automatically tag it with the correct time code. You can then export those notes and bring them back into your editing software as markers.
Okay. What's another feature that you like?
Okay. I also like there's a whole range of task management features there. And I think we've done it in a way that's different to other people. And I feel that the way we've done it is more the way that people work within our industry.
For instance?
So, for example, you create a task, and there are different sections where you can link files to it. So you have a related files section, and that's where you can say, let's say it's a visual effects shot. You can say, okay, here's the plate for this, or here's the mock-up for this shot. And so your visual effects artist has all that at hand. And then he can go away and do the shot, and then there's he can link the deliverables back to the task and say, is this, do you like it like this? Does it need changes? You can then go back and forth and compare deliverables that way.
I just had an insight, which I hadn't considered. I always think of video review as I've got a rough cut of my sequence, but it can actually be down to an individual shot, or send up a background plate and say, here's what we think the background looks like. So this can be down to the shot level to get people's feedback who aren't necessarily located in the same facility.
Oh, yeah, and that's the great thing about Kollaborate is that it's not just video, it's any type of file.
But isn't that cool that you can do that now and you couldn't do that like 18 months ago? I mean, it's just, I just find it incredible.
We could ship hard disks around via FedEx.
Come on. Who wants to use the mail?
But what's great about the fact that it doesn't just have video is that there are a lot of services out there that are video only. So you've got to pay for that service, and then you've got to pay for something like Dropbox Pro on top of that just to share all your non-video files. This is great because Kollaborate will work for both. You only need to pay for one.
How big a pipeline do I need to have? How internet bandwidth to be able to make this work?
You don't need it to be all that fast. If you had maybe, I'd say probably a minimum of 5 megabits.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people are on location in hotels.
Right.
Motels. I mean, they have to be able to deal with this.
Right.
So I think that was part of your whole collaboration as you were doing this.
Who's using the software now?
I can't list specific companies, but we got a lot of big companies in the UK using it.
More than one?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been released and it's in use.
Oh yeah, it's been out since 2013.
And how are you pricing it?
It's actually very reasonable. If you pay for a whole year in advance, then our base package, you get it for the equivalent of $15 a month.
$15 for how many users?
That's for 5 users per project, unlimited projects, and 12 gigs of space.
It is. It really is one of the best collaborators for indie filmmakers, as well as all the way to the studio level.
So $15 a month, even if you're a small company, and it would be for 5 users, and it gives you. Does that mean 5 users are able to collaborate or view, or is there a difference between people who can make notes and people who can see?
Yeah, we don't put a limit on the number of views or the number of links you can send out. So it's really 5 people on your team who are collaborating with you. But really, you can send it to an unlimited number of clients.
For clients that want to learn more about Kollaborate, where can they go on the web?
Okay, it's Kollaborate.tv, and that's Kollaborate with a K.
So KOLLABORATE, Kollaborate.tv.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And for people that want to learn more about Digital Rebellion, where can they go?
That's digitalrebellion.com.
All one word, digitalrebellion.com. And Jon Chappell is the CEO and founder of Digital Rebellion. John, it's been great having you with us.
Thanks, John, for being our
for
first
having me.
in-host, in studio guest.
And we're delighted to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.